My, 22 male, now ex-girlfriend, 22 female, dumped me, slept with her ex, then begged for me back. It was October 7th. We'd had a bumpy weekend. On her way home, an hour from mine, she calls me saying how our values don't align and begins rambling about my flaws. She breaks up with me at 8:30 p.m. on the phone. I cry, process and distract my mind. I feel fine by midnight and am talking to friends, gleefully. Somehow I feel happy. 1:40 a.m., I receive a call. She tells me she's been crying nonstop for hours. How she regrets her actions and wasn't thinking straight. I tell her we'll discuss this properly in the morning and see what we do from there. I decide to take her back on the condition she works on herself. Some of the major character flaws impacting our relationship. A month later, another bump in the road. She bursts out crying and tells me she slept with her ex in the few hours we were broken up. I felt betrayed, played, hurt, destroyed. I somehow processed and managed to give her a chance as it wasn't strictly cheating, as messed up as it was. She started the pill that same weekend, so I chalked it up to hormonally induced stupidity. I tell her that her ex is now a boundary she can't cross. No more communication of any sort with him. A week ago I checked her phone. I was enormously suspicious at this point. She's messaging him telling him she loves him. I find a picture she sent to herself on her Facebook of the two of them laying in bed next to each other, 2 months into our relationship. I ask her to her face, "Have you had any communication with him since we set the boundaries?" She promises me she hasn't. The day before, she sent a message to him asking to call to talk about their lives. She's totally unfazed, lying to my face. Lies. Lies. Lies everywhere. I broke it off on Monday. I hate that I was betrayed. She was a physical 10. Her personality was a 10 on the first day but is now a 1. It hurts so much and I wish I could tell you all the details of the betrayal, but I could write a book on every disgraceful action she took. Update 1. She messaged me a timeline of her involvement with her ex and admitted continuous emotional infidelity. My girlfriend, 22 female, cheated on me, 24 male, with her ex 2 years ago, sexted him regularly for the next 1.5 years. Context. My girlfriend and I met in college. We've dated for 4 years, graduated 2 years ago and moved to a new city, and have lived together since then. 4 or 5 months ago, I caught my girlfriend snooping through my phone. I didn't particularly mind it, but it put the thought in my mind that that's possibly the behavior of a cheater looking for justification. Before that, I had no reason to question anything, and I asked her a few times after that if she had ever cheated on me, and each time she looked me in the eye and swore that she hadn't. I can read her pretty well and didn't feel like she was being honest, but there was no point in pushing it. Yesterday, I was home alone and heard the ding of an iPhone getting a text. I searched for the source and found my girlfriend's iPad. I read the text on the home screen from a friend of hers apologizing for being late. I sent a text to my girlfriend joking about how that person is always late to mess with her, and after some confusion, I explained that her iPad was also getting the texts and then I heard it dinging. Then I remembered her snooping and how I didn't fully believe her, and I asked for the password to the iPad. She wouldn't give it to me, and I said that privacy doesn't only get to go one way, so I'm going to change the code on my phone if she wouldn't tell me. Then she told me. I looked through her texts looking for any guys' names I wasn't familiar with, and didn't really see any. I checked the numbers without contacts to figure out who they were. Then I just decided to snoop through recent conversations with her ex who she was still friends with. I scrolled up until I saw 2 pictures of him with a towel around his head pretending to be an old lady. At that point I was like, alright, whatever. Just dumb, friendly stuff. I'll put it down. But then it caught my eye. Those aren't the kind of pictures I wanted from my girlfriend. What? What kind of pictures did you want? I scrolled up for context. Send me some pictures. Scrolled up further. A naked photo of my girlfriend, then another, and another, and another, and another. If I had to guess, there were at least 30 of them to this supposedly platonic ex. Fortunately none of him showed up. I read texts of her complaining about me, telling him she thinks of him when she has sex, picturing making love to him in our apartment. The works. Then I got to the point 2 years ago where the text was similar to. I want to make sure I'm not being used here. Scroll up. So, why did we do that? I guess for you it's because you're lonely, and I've always made it clear I'm available. I'm extremely attracted to you. Scroll up within same evening. Yeah, my address is. I'm here. At this point I called her to confront this. You sexted your ex for a year and a half? No, I didn't. You cheated on me? No, I didn't. Stop. Put the iPad away. I read her what exactly I had read and she canceled her plans to come home and talk about it. Apparently, this whole thing stopped in August by her decision. She explains that originally when she cheated on me, it was because of the stress of graduation and us at that point, not seeing it likely that we would have ended up in the same city. She apologized and admitted it was a terrible and selfish thing to do. As for the sexts, she told me she just liked and wanted the attention. That was all it was after cheating on me in college. She said that it had been killing her this whole time since she stopped. That she felt like a terrible person for it and growing up a little more had made her realize how selfish she was being. That she had been driven to suicidal thoughts and depression over it. That this was the cause for her random crying without explanation over the last few months. She's offered whatever she can do to make it up to me. My first instinct is not to leave her, but I want to work through what I'm thinking about, and this feels like a good release. 1. The span of time of cheating physically then emotionally is a huge proportion of our long-term relationship, and that's hard to forgive. 2. She still lied about it through yesterday until confronted with evidence she couldn't lie past, even though she insisted she was going to go to therapy to work up the ability to tell me this year. 3. I saw pictures of her sent to him not just in our bed, but in my childhood bed when we visited my family. That makes it all feel dirty now. But 1. She stopped on her own, she apologized, and I don't think she would do it again. 2. I think someone should get one instance of forgiveness for cheating in a long relationship. What I struggle with is the length of time this happened. 3. She is genuinely sorry and looking to make this work. She blamed a lot of our minor relationship problems on this weighing on her. So I'd like to see if those things can improve moving past it. 4. Other than this and a few minor things, I've been totally happy in the relationship. 5. All of the cheating was over 7 months ago. I'm extremely conflicted about this. Thoughts? TLDR. Girlfriend cheated on me 2 years ago with her ex, sexted him regularly for the following year and a half we've lived together. That was now 6-7 months ago. I don't know how to process this. I'm 23 male, and girlfriend cheated on me with her ex, again. So, I've been with my girlfriend for a little over a year. We started dating right after she broke up with her ex of 3 years, her first love. Friends with him since she was a kid. Honestly, she pretty much left him for me and we kind of started talking at the tail end of their relationship, and she didn't have much time to get over him. Bad idea? She cheated on me once at the very beginning of our relationship with her ex, literally about a few days after being official. She didn't tell me until 7 months later. She said she felt bad because he was so sad and hurt and she wanted to give him what he wanted. I was so upset and disappointed and was very close to breaking things off. She told me she's been such a good girlfriend over those 7 months, which she had been. She stopped talking to him, and pretty much cut him off and promised me that she would never hurt me again. She said she didn't tell me because she didn't want to lose our relationship. I gave her a second chance. Fast forward 5 months. She hangs out with her ex who is now also in a serious relationship, they have the same group of childhood friends. He tells her he still loves her, and she starts talking to him again. Just this past weekend, I found out that they'd been talking and sleeping together behind my back for the last 2 weeks. Again, she didn't tell me right away. I had to find out myself because I knew something was going on and looked through her messages. They both agreed to stop whatever they were doing and focus on their current relationships. I am so hurt and so disappointed that she would do that to me again, after seeing how hurt I was the first time. I felt like an idiot for giving her a second chance. She says she just has a soft spot for him since he was her first love, and it's hard to say no to him because of how much she hurt him when she got with me. She says she will always have love for him and will always want him in her life in some way. She said she cheated because she wanted to know if she wanted to get back with him, but at the end of the day she realized she wanted to be with me. She said the cheating was never about me, it was about going with her heart. This was also around the same time our relationship was getting a bit dull and there were constant arguments, so we weren't in the best place. I'm just really confused right now. I love this girl to death, she was my first love. She makes me so happy and really brings out the best of me. I genuinely believe that she's a good person deep down, but is still somewhat immature and lacks self-control, is afraid to own up to her actions, and has a weak heart. Essentially, she is someone that I would never have to worry about cheating on me if it weren't for her ex. She tells me she is someone who has a very hard time letting go or cutting people off, and always thinks with her heart. She says she is really committed to cutting him off this time and will do anything to even just be in my life. I know it will never be possible to fully cut him off because they literally have the same friends. I don't want her to think that she can just cheat on me and I'll just take her back, since I've already done it once, so I told her I don't want her in my life at all anymore. But now, I really don't know if that will make me happy since she means so much to me, but I just don't know if this relationship can be fixed. What should I do? TLDR. Girlfriend cheated on me with her ex, her first love, for the second time. She said she wanted to know if she still wanted to be with him or not. I found out, she didn't tell me. But, she still wants to get back with me and says she'll do anything. I told her I want her out of my life forever. Should I give her another chance? My ex-boyfriend, 21 male, cheated on his girlfriend, 19 female, with me, 20 female. Please, before I start, I know what I did was absolutely inexcusable and disgusting behavior. I don't need to hear a list of how terrible I was for doing this. I feel so incredibly guilty, that I am considering ending my life. I just want to know what I should do. My ex-boyfriend, we dated for 2 years, who I am friends with, was incredibly sick yesterday. He couldn't get out of bed. I went across town, bought him groceries, and made him some tea and soup so he could feel better. He told me to get into bed and cuddle with him because he was very cold. I complied because he had a terrible fever and who doesn't love a good cuddle. While we were cuddling, he put his arms around me and one of them found its way down. I was sick previously to this with what I think is the same thing he has. He slipped his hand into my pants and felt some of my swollen lymph nodes near my groin that were my first symptom. They're fairly pronounced and he hadn't had a chance to feel them yet. He made a joke about my pubic hair as I haven't really had a reason to shave for a while, yay. Single, and he put his hand down further. Suddenly, he was touching me while holding me in place. He grabbed my hand and put it on himself. One thing led to another, and he pulled down my pants and his own, and was in me. Not even with protection. We had sex for a bit and he stopped due to exhaustion from being sick. He cuddled up with me after and said, "Our little secret." He said later that night that he was going to tell her and leave his girlfriend, of less than a month, who he apparently loves. He didn't, and she's currently over at his place, showering with him. I don't know what to do. I don't want to be in a relationship with him, but I think it's wrong of him to sleep with me and not tell his girlfriend. He had been asking me for nudes and requesting I go on cam for him for weeks. I was dumb to think he wouldn't try this on me. I feel incredibly guilty about it all. I made a huge mistake. I think he was right in saying he would tell his girlfriend, then leave her. But he didn't and she has no idea I was in that very bed yesterday. Do I tell her? Should I tell him to tell her? Do I keep my mouth shut? I told his roommates what happened and that's the best I can do without telling her. I cut him out of my life completely and I don't ever want to look at him again. TLDR. I was taking care of my sick ex-boyfriend, and we ended up sleeping together. He has a girlfriend. He said he would tell her and leave her, but is probably screwing her this second. His roommates know what's up. I deleted him from everything and I don't want to talk to him again. What do I do now? Ex cheated on his girlfriend with me. What's next? So, my ex and I had dated for over a year. During this time, I took a vacation during which I cheated on him on one drunken night. It was a one-time thing with someone I barely knew. I felt extremely guilty about it since the next day and couldn't bring myself to tell him. Fast forward 15 days later, my ex checks my phone and finds out and breaks up with me. understandably. The breakup happened on October 1, 2017. Since then, I've done everything to show him how sorry I was and how much I regret everything that happened, but understood that he might need his space and left him alone. He texts me on October 27 saying that he started dating a junior in our college. To mention, we're in the same year in college and have the same friends, so we're forced to hang out after the breakup as well. He also goes on to say how ugly I am and how his new girlfriend is much hotter and more interesting, and that I was always below his league. Since then, he's done everything to rub his new relationship in my face, including taking her to the same spots where we went on dates, and constantly telling me how amazing she is and how much he loves her. Fast forward to November 6, 2017, we go to a movie with all our friends and he insists I come sit next to him and holds my hand, and cuddles with me throughout the movie cause he was cold. Fast forward to November 17, we go to a movie with all of our friends but he insists I sit with him separately and holds my hand again. Eventually we end up kissing. He asks me to not to tell anyone. We met again on November 19 and it happens again. Except this time it's a full-on makeout session and we get to second base. At this point, I ask him if he wants to get back together. He gets hysteric and starts screaming at me and telling me that he loves his new girlfriend and that he doesn't love me anymore, and that it meant nothing and it was purely physical. He goes out of his way to make sure I don't tell any of our friends and his girlfriend doesn't get to know about it. I've cut off all contact with him since then. What would be the ethical thing to do here? I still love him and want to get back with him. I haven't told anyone about the incident and I don't know if it's my place to tell his girlfriend. Would I be the a-hole if I told my ex's new girlfriend that he cheated on her? I, 23 female, was with my ex, 26 male, for 2 years. He had an ex-girlfriend, 27? Female. Let's call her Rebecca. My ex, let's call him Jack, and I were reasonably happy together for the first year of our relationship, and then I spent 5 months studying abroad, came home for a month, and spent another 4 months studying abroad before coming back home permanently. We chatted daily, and were still very much a couple while I was abroad. When I returned home, Jack made very little effort to see me/spend time with me, and I felt neglected. He told me I was being clingy and expecting too much. I should also mention that I started taking antidepressants during my time abroad. I'm a longtime sufferer of anxiety and depression, and as a result, I gained a significant amount of weight. I asked Jack whether the weight gain was the reason for his loss of interest, and he told me it was. I was hurt and angry, and we broke up. He let me believe that a combination of my clinginess, i.e., wanting to see him twice a week, and the weight gain was the reason for his loss of interest. I was heartbroken and my self-esteem was at rock bottom, but 6 months later, I no longer have feelings for him and we stayed friends. He told me that he was dating someone new, and I was happy that he was happy. However, I found out yesterday that he was cheating on me with his ex, Rebecca, while I was abroad. His new girlfriend is actually Rebecca. She has no idea that he was still in a 2-year relationship with me when he started dating her again. They'd even talked about marriage. While he was dating her, he was telling me he loved me, spending time with me and my family, and asking me to move in with him. He begged me not to tell her, apologized to me, though I suspect he was just sorry he got caught, said he'll commit suicide if I tell her, tried to make me feel like a bad person, etc. I, perhaps mistakenly, told him I won't tell her, but urged him to tell her. He doesn't want to, but I think she deserves to know the truth. Would I be the a-hole if I told her the truth, especially given that marriage is on the cards? TLDR. Ex was cheating on me with his current girlfriend. She doesn't know. I found out, and he begged me not to tell her. Would I be the a-hole if I told her?